Welcome, welcome to the stream. Today's episode, we're going to watch some documentaries, enjoy some Vice News content, maybe have some chuckle once in a while. Please have a seat. Waiter is going to come soon, and they're going to take your order. Um, Alcohol is right. And we have drugs on the menu if you want. Yes, 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 yes. It is time. There's like mosquito in my room because it's the time of the mosquitoes. And living in the woods, there's like too much at this time of the year. They're all getting out. They're all getting out to kill. They're ready to kill everything in sight. Okay, they're monsters. Mosquitoes is like the one thing we don't need in this world. Okay, like let's be honest here. Like why do we need a mosquito for? That is not a real thing. That like we can put these things into the not alive category. Okay, I know a lot of people are going to do that with like other human beings, but I think like we can like have a say about like putting mosquitoes into the not alive category so we don't have moral dilemmas to deal with. I think that's a fair trade to do. Right? Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. Um so do we what do we start with? I got these two things. Either we go for we finish like some 10 minutes shots of like what we was watching yesterday, or we go to this thing here. I didn't watch it. It just like it was playing in the background about a Siberian cult leader thinks he's Jesus. That rings bell to me. You know, having a cult, the Angel One cult, being the messiah of the space here. I am the messiah. I am reborn. I got aligned. You know, uh, I was add like a certain sensibilities to spirituality. So you know, the spirits love me a lot. That's why my stream keep on crashing often. So you know, we're kind of similar here. So I wanted to see like one of my brothers, how they're doing. How is the Jesus ego going for them? But before that, how Spanky lost his voice. Why am I stuck? You're stuck in the life, dude. You're stuck in life. I know. You're stuck in experiencing your senses. It's kind of crazy. You might think that like you're like exempted from that, but no, you are not. We are all into our senses. We are all one with. That's actually true. Yeah, I know. I'm making cool observation like that as style. It's kind of cool. Um, do I have anything else to say? No, I was like, Nick, what's up, bro? How you doing, bro? How you doing, man? How you doing, bro? Okay, so two things. Like I said, we're going to watch Siberian cult leader thinks he's Jesus because like I relate to this guy. You know, somehow I'm the Messiah here. I'm Jesus Christ reborn. God chose me. More absolute monarchist. Remember that, chosen by God to reign over men because I have the truth. So I wanted to watch that. Then I kind of want, you know, there's still like little 10 minutes videos about like the documentary we watched about yesterday that we can still kind of go fast. Go fast in before like going in the Siberian Jesus guy. This guy.
Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hey,
Hands up!
hey! Hands up! If you hear me holler hands up, I better see everybody's hands go up.
B-ball.
You understand me?
You're playing B-ball,
Say
dude.
hands up, they go up. Go, go, go!
Ain't that the kid that his dad is in prison too? Playing B-ball. Woo! Okay. And I again, this intro goes so hard. Like, what is this beat, dude? Okay, yesterday I was watching my VOD and it was really too, it wasn't loud enough. We were hearing myself way too much. So You had to tell me those things, Nick.
Hey, I want your feet together. That's the only way you gonna jump.
Otherwise, like I start screaming and like you don't hear anything else.
Come on, Antonio.
I bite this fucker, dude. I got him. Okay, really? You need to tell me, dude. I don't hear like the voice, the stream.
80s, man, when I had hair. Okay, that's my wife. 44 years.
Damn.
That's my soulmate.
Okay, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cool though. Now we were getting to the guy itself, like one of the teachers. Like what kind of like does he have like going on? But you always do, so I got used to it. Yeah, but like it's not like I think it's for you think for people on the YouTube, it's just annoying. It's quite annoying. So
I went to Columbia College in Chicago. My daughter got a bachelor degree from Illinois State. We made sure all of us had education. My first week at Montefiore was interesting because they told me to take this boy up to the detention. And the boy told me that he was going to hit me with a chair.
damn.
As soon as I got
Classic.
up there. That boy hit me with a chair.
First
My
day,
wife would
first day on the
tell you
board.
that I dreamed this school. In my dreams,
You have nightmares.
I have nightmares about this school. I can tell you about the kids in school. I wake up in the morning talking about what I'm gonna say to this kid. All right, 15 years. They have been my life.
That's
They have
intense.
been my life.
That's so intense, dude.
Get. Stand up. There you go. Watch your head. Watch it. You can slap the ball.
Don't football all the time. Okay.
Okay.
18.
They starting to believe in themselves. They starting to believe in themselves. They starting to pull for each other. That's basically what we want.
Become a group, not divided.
I don't care
Friendship
about
rules, community rules,
I'm
over.
over them playing together, getting out of this school. Now you learning. Now you learning what we trying to tell you to do. You did it right. Y'all finally learned how to play together. And that's what we want. My job is to nurture and educate and protect. So we protect them more than we do anything. We protect them.
From what?
Themselves, their family, their surroundings.
Teach them that.
Themselves first. Wait, he lost his voice? Okay, that's a kid. See the planes landing? You ever seen the airport? You ain't never seen the airport either? We're going to see DePaul against Seton Hall.
So many different type of kids. They all have like their own little
Watch your step when
thing.
you go down. His first time at a game. Never. With special ed, he's never been to a basketball game. Let's tell you about all the DePaul players. That's not DePaul. Look. What? A cheerleader. That's all you see, cheerleaders. Which one? That's Charles with the ponytail.
What is attention, dude? So they just go to the basketball game now. The smoke. What?
One, two, three. Go Blue Demons!
You like that, huh? Did you hunger? You did?
Okay. This is wholesome. This is wholesome. But I think I'm gonna skip this one. It doesn't feel like as intense. It's just like a wholesome moment. They go to the basketball player. We're going to learn about how he lost his voice. I think we saw enough. We saw enough before. Now we're getting to the real Jews. The fucking Siberian cult leader thinks he's Jesus. Jesus of Siberia. They're hippie Catholics. That's what they are. Okay, that's how they joined like these communes.
Russia, where people have discovered the secret of living in perfect
They found a secret to live in perfect harmony. What?
harmony.
They finally
A
find
place where the
peace.
children run free.
What they play with little sheeps. You see, they live in harmony so bad. The aesthetic is on point. Harmony is about the aesthetic. Okay, it's not about like any ritual or any inner peace or any alchemy to get there. It's about aesthetic. If the aesthetic is right, you're living in harmony. Look, they get like paddled. They're like all green. Harmony.
The earth provides everything you need.
Your own communal garden. Harmony. Cows in the your own cow that you have in the water. Harmony.
And where money is meaningless.
Money meaningless.
Welcome to the Church
They're
of the Last
Mormons,
Testament.
basically. That's testament.
This is Petropavlovka, a small settlement located deep within the taiga forest of Siberia, over 100 miles away from the nearest town. It looks like a elf village at like a putt-putt course. About 20 years ago, a handful of
That is some real architecture. It just feels Mormon. Just kind of like Mormon with like some weird Eastern European vibe thrown into it.
disciples came here to worship
No?
him with Vissarion, or the teacher as he is commonly known. Today, Vissarion's Church of the Last Testament has over 5,000 followers.
Oh
from
my
all around
God.
the world. About 2,000 live here and in the surrounding areas.
Счастье свой секрет присядьте добрым позлом. В тот же миг увидишь ты
They're just hippies.
радости, чистоты.
The religion really feel
I
like
came here in hopes of
60s
meeting the man
coded.
himself, who hasn't granted an interview to the media in at least 3 years.
Take heed of the voice that's been sent to you by God. Save you. It doesn't even like
2
look
decades ago,
good.
that man was known as Sergei Antoilovich Tora, a 29-year-old patrol officer who suddenly had a revelation that his was the word of God.
Receive this great sacrament. They always have like God talking to them for some reason. Like you know, they always have like a superpower. You're never going to see it directly, but you have to take their word, and that's where you have the faith. You have faith in your Savior, Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Conveniently, this realization
Dude, he goes like on
happened
swings.
right around the time the Soviet Union, a self-proclaimed nation of atheists, began to crumble and religion became an acceptable topic of discussion in Russia.
Oh, that's
He
interesting.
soon began writing the Last Testament,
89.
a
Around 09.
12-volume follow-up of sorts to the New Testament, which details the religion's major tenets and provides answers to some of life's most mundane questions, such as which brand of detergent you should use. Labeled a dangerous cult by some, it has been reported that Vissarion and his followers believe in aliens
They're
and suicide is
that suicide is okay too. Okay, it's like I don't know what happened. It's like that one cult in Japan or like Scientology. There's something that like rotted our brain in the 60s with like all the sci-fi drugs. There was like just a weird mix of like everything come together, alien and Jesus Christ and a third conscious while doing LSD that like have like created such weird precise little religion like that believe in aliens and stuff like that.
A-OK and believe that the end of the world is imminent. There are rules here that I was warned about.
And that's the thing. Until we don't have proof of aliens, these guys are going to be really weird. But you believe that if one day we find any sign of real alien, these guys are going mainstream, okay? They're going to have a revival. For now, they don't make sense into the context, our social context. But imagine a society that like finds out alien are real. These guys are going mainstream. I believe in alien. I believe in it too. I kind of believe in it too. But they're kind of just like either you know, if alien exists, they're kind of just like watching us because they don't care that much. They're like, let's do their little thing. They're unique in their own way. Maybe it's like human centric to think we're special, but like, let's evolve. Let's see how their culture, how they're going to react to themselves. There must be life somewhere else in the universe. I don't believe they ever came here though. I think if I cannot prove they came here, but if they came here, I feel they could have just watched. They're kind of just passive because like, dude, if I don't know like how rare, if life is really rare, first thing first, it becomes even rarer if there's like intelligent life, and if there's intelligent life, the context around the species is going to be so unique that you don't want to like intervene. The same way you don't want to like when you want to study something, you cannot like intervene into it. You cannot just let it be, and you want to be like a fly on the wall. I think aliens are kind of going to approach us like that. They don't really care. I feel like if you're really going to be able to like find our planet, I'm sorry, you don't need our resources. You don't really need to take over the planet. Like there's no point. There's no point. The only value I think we could have for aliens is that we're unique. You know, we're like interesting for them. Because I'm going to assume that we're having intelligence life is rare. If they're, you know. Maybe they don't know about us either, and we're aliens to them. Maybe. That's the thing. What's the name of the thing again? Like there's a paradox. The Fermi paradox, maybe? I don't remember correctly, but it's basically saying that like there's like a multiple reason of where are the aliens. One is that we're super rare. The other one is that okay, maybe life is like more there is less rare, but it's really hard to get your civilization to like certain steps. For example, right now we're kind of stuck of like how do we do with like our own community and dealing with the harmony of nature, for example. You know what I'm saying? And that's like really hard challenge your own species has to go through if they want to go like interstellar. But yeah.
No tobacco, no alcohol, no meat. I believe it's all vegan. I gotta watch my mouth because I have a dirty mouth. And
I have a dirty
like
mouth
meat.
too.
I like
drugs
sometimes.
What kind of
There's
drugs?
none of that here, so
Like I'm sorry, like these kind of community, they could have like a weird like weed is like a sort of spiritual herb or some shit.
Yep. I was invited here by one of the church's more recent converts, a 24-year-old woman named Tamriko, who worked as a lawyer in Moscow before moving here 3 months ago. She now works in the German House, a sort of guest house for the spiritually curious. Why don't you give me a little history of how you got here?
When I first heard about the teacher, it was for me like this kind of thing that, wow, it's like this is the only source of all information, of all answers, and this is a real teacher of the truth about the world and so on. And sometimes you need answers, you need just answers, and somebody will explain you like everything. He will explain your life, what are you doing this, why you have some problems with your health, problems with your life.
Everything is
for
explained.
what purpose actually you're living.
I see.
That's the thing. Humans don't like confusion. Humans do not like to be stuck into like void. They want like a nice story, and that's why we don't like our modern settings. Okay, politics is the worst thing for the human brain because we are not giving the tools to not make it like we're not able to sit into like the confusion and like the complexity and like simple answers and stuff like that. We want to know how things are. It just like makes sense. There's like it's more harmonious for our little brains, you know. But it's kind of funny. It's like why choose this religion? Like how did you get like what do you think this one is like better than the other ones? I guess it's about the lifestyle too, probably, right? It's like that sort of like community you're going to be part of. So yeah, it's sensors, but like there's a community aspect to it.
And one of the things that a lot of people have said is like, oh, it's a cult, you know. How do you feel about that? It has a bad
I don't think anything about this. Do you know why? Because I think that if some people find that this person can help them and they want to pray to this person, why not?
Okay. Is there any?
Why not? Well, I mean, now it depends like how bad the cult is. How bad like they're so far from everything. How restrictive it is, I don't know. Depends. Yeah, they need someone to guide them and provide answers. Yeah, that's a thing. You know, especially in the context of like Russia, communists, when they're all atheists and like suddenly the state is not there to give answers. There's like a certain like a lack of structure, and these in these groups give like such rigid structure. And for a lot of people, that is a way to like live. You know, that's a way to not think about it. It gives the structure you need. That's it.
Anything that you perhaps disagree with here and with
Here?
the teachings, or no?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Disagreeing with Vissarion's teachings is rare, which became very apparent after meeting Tanya, a patron of a local girls' school, a place where young ladies go to learn the discipline, as she put it.
The discipline
Is
of
part
being a
the
girl.
lesson plan set aside for a study of the teacher?
Девочки учатся общению.
The girl used to study how to live in
между
peace with
собой.
each other.
Как правильно
They also study how to
относиться
behave with a
девочки
man.
друг с другом,
Oh
к
wow!
мальчику, как
Oh, of course. Why are religion like cults like that are always so? Either they're like polyamory, like crazy, like some people in the community is going to have 30 wives, or it's going to be like trad, like crazy. I wonder if we're going to meet Jesus. I think no. Dude, you don't get it. He probably like went there, say he killed himself for like the good of the sins, and he left with the money. What do you think? And now they just live in their little community. I think Jesus, I mean, because he's the real Jesus, of course. Like he's revived. God gave him. No, but
правильно относиться.
no, but like why don't we see like cults where it's not trad? You know, I mean, there's like there must be like a certain reason of why it's always ideologies are so rigid. There's like never a cult that's like, oh no, you can't criticize us. It works. No, it doesn't really. You must be kidding. What do you mean? What do you mean I'm kidding? That's the real Jesus. What do you mean?
И это главное.
That's the
в
key of our
нашем образовании.
education.
Девочек
We
учат
communicate to
тому,
the
что
girls
мальчик
that
это
man is a
творец.
creator.
Он
He is a
мастер. Он
master.
должен
They
построить
must be
дом,
built their house
должен
like a
иметь очень
masculine
много разных
profession.
мужских таких профессий. Поэтому обучение он должен иметь очень много
Masculine,
разных.
like having long hair and painting. I think he's there living with his people. No, I think he left. I feel that's the vibe this gives me. But maybe he does live there.
Мужских таких профессий. Поэтому обучение
That's why
мальчиков
we
и
educate
девочек у
boys
нас
and girls
проходит
separately.
раздельно.
So, do you ever have strong girls that maybe resist and they're not so with that line of thinking?
И именно когда так девушка себя
won't be
проявляет как
having-
лидер и подменяет собой
Taking men
мужчину,
responsibility, at
тогда
least
получаются
disharmony.
негармоничные накладки. Если она так не
If you reject
сделает,
this
для
role,
нее
she
это
puts
очень
her health at
опасная
risk.
ситуация. Она может
There's also
заболеть.
like a certain like definition. They say they reach harmony, but harmony is defined such into like a specific way. Harmony means no problem, but like no problems mean like there's no place for like bad feeling or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have harmony with conflicts in a weird sense. But like in this context, harmony is such defined into like a rigid way. There's only one cohesion. There's only one dynamic that brings to the right set of the right, goal.
Как женщина, потому что
Harmony will punish her
гармония
with a woman's
не
disease.
кто-то, а гармония ее накажет женскими болезнями.
Спасибо.
Спасибо вам большое. Приезжайте
Come
к
back
нам
to us
еще
and bring
и
your daughter to your
привозите нам
school.
своих детей сюда, дочек, на
course.
обучение. О, девушку,
Bring your
чтобы она
girlfriend.
была очень хорошей
We make the
твоей
best
помощницей.
assistant for you.
As tempting as brainwashing my girlfriend into misogynistic slavery sounded, I had mountains to climb and deity.
Okay, they're talking about slavery, but I think these people are they're not seeing it as slavery. They're just seeing that like, oh, they have a job. You know what I'm saying? They don't see it as slavery per se. They're not big into feminism, but yeah, it's because
to meet. I had been invited to celebrate the holiday of good fruits at the Abode of Dawn, a
They're
small
so
mountaintop
cute.
community where
cows are so cute. I'm sorry, cows are so cute. They look so cool. They look like
Arion and his closest followers live. I stopped at the general store to get supplies for the hike. So I have the luxury of, after a 40-hour trip, of eating a CCC pop. We just bought provisions for 2 days. This is kind of the treat before. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be eating this, to be honest. I don't know what Siberian stance is on candy and ice pops, but it's hot, so. I climbed into a Soviet-era bread loaf and began the bumpy drive up the hill. We got a good crew just materialized here at the base of the mountain. Looks like we're about ready to go. My hiking companions had traveled from Germany, Slovenia, Sweden, and beyond, all in hopes of catching even a glimpse of the elusive Vissarion.
Oh, you got a flute, pan flute. What do you
Along
mean?
the way, I met Maciek, a university student from Poland.
Oh, Polish.
And what did you come here seeking?
I came to see what it's all about. I was told that they share their wives. They told me that the people here were
I said it. I said it. The polyamory. The polyamory. It's always there too. Imagine my people. Can I be Polish? Can I start saying I'm Polish? I wish I could be Polish. I'll have to visit Polish one day, dude. One day, dude. I'll come to Poland. They're always polyamory. It's always like, oh, you can share wives. The wives are going to be like, it's like a male fantasy. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's a male fantasy. If for the girls, what reason do they have is that they're going to get the vulnerable girls. You know, you get the guys that really are too much into trad and like having multiple wives and that can have like domination. And for the girls, you get the girls that are like a bit like vulnerable to that sort of like, yeah, fucking pervert. Yeah. That's how you make sure like the cohesion is there. You get like guys that are patriarchal and women that are insecure. And that they need like a everything to be told from them. Because like there's people like that. And they fit perfectly into the patriarchy. But like, that is not a dynamic that we need to see. Anyways, but we go back. It's always that dynamic. Like there's something about like these people that they love that sort of structure that cult can give you, or like the rigidity of religion. When we talk about fundamentalism, it's kind of going there too.
brain and that I might never come back.
I think
we made it to what appeared to be a border
I'm
crossing.
criticizing at the same time, but like these people, they find actual meaning there. They find like for them it's probably like fine. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to like self question it. Which there's like a certain sadness that they cannot question it, but
And the attendant took down our details.
Америка, да?
Yes. Our guide, Nina, led me to the place where I'd be staying for the next 2 nights. The home of a lovely Russian family who immediately offered me cold vegetable soup and bread. Vissarion's serene gaze watched over us as we ate our blessed meal, spiritually charging us for the upcoming nighttime liturgy. We're gonna go see what worship is like here. I feel like I'm kind of in a different world, to be honest. The pre-holiday liturgy didn't seem too different from a Christian mass, but I would come to find out that things weren't that simple here. Still, the followers...
and again, I always like find it questionable. Like, how can they find these little communities? Do they think like they're special people that got chosen? Like, it's always like, at least like with big religion, there's like a thing to be said that they're so broad already. There's a reason, but now they're like super small community. How are they going to like be more truthful? Or do they think like it's a long-term thing? I'm not sure if I'm able to like express correctly what I'm trying to say here, but
have been very pleasant so far. Only a few seem to have the crazy stare of a cult member. I ran into Maciek.
That's the thing. They seem like to be relatively just normal people seeking like meaning. You know what I'm saying? Even if I go, oh, it's traditional. Oh, it's at the end of the day, they're just trying to find meaning, and they kind of find it into that.
Settling in. How have the accommodations been?
Well, the accommodations were very, very well. I met nice people. We had a nice conversation, and then they asked me when did I accept the teacher and his teachings, and I said, well, I'm not really a follower. And then there was like a minute of silence, second of silence. That felt uneasy, but they got over it. but I think they felt a little disappointed.
And are you? They have our passports. So you're visiting. Are you a little concerned about that?
I am. It's like, you know, yeah, it's still.
I like to see how it got formed in the first place. Say this Jesus. Yeah, no, exactly. Right. You're so right. Yeah. Wait, yeah. Now we're seeing like how it is right now, but I kind of want to see like how it emerged. Hey, I'll be Jesus and you worship me and we'll create a cult of all of that. Yeah, exactly. Like it feels so weird into like a context like that. Like how do people like actually start believing into these figures? It feels so weird. Like maybe if you're look, maybe there wasn't internet at the time. I just imagine you're like a small village in Siberia. You don't have contact with a lot of people. Religion is already there. Some guy was a bit too charismatic or some reason succeeds to like get people on board, get women on board. And like, how do you convince people to get like become polyamory? You know what I'm saying? Like I see it in school, but like it's like so like chaotic. Let's say it. Okay, so like how do anyways? There's like so many questions. How do someone like do that?
I don't want to be insulted, but you come to the place which is far away from anywhere in the world. You come to people who are known to be members of a cult, of a religious group.
If you think about it, it's in this context. Yeah, I just find it ridiculous. Maybe I'm so far from these experience, but like maybe there's a sense of like if I grew up in like a weird ass village far away from everything, no internet, it's already really traditional, so it's like it's not too weird from my taste. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like they have like a big like girls do that and boys do that. But like if you're from a place that's already like kind of into that frame, maybe there's a thing you go to church a lot. It's an old priest that's like starts saying the church don't get it and he has new teaching. I don't know.
Of some sort, no. Let's put it like this, okay. And then they take your passport away straight when you pass it. They are pretty persistent about that.
Yeah. Physically and spiritually exhausted from my long journey, I turned in for the night to rest up for the holiday of good fruits and our first glimpse of Vasarium.
And there's also a thing I think about like all these ritual. He said it well. He tries to make you spiritually exhausted and emotionally exhausted, so you don't really have other choice but to like repent. What you said is, I think, the most likely way that all this happened. Yeah, I feel it's more like a certain place like that, but it still feel weird. Like, how do you like mix? How do you get aliens into the mix? You know. Once you enter through these beautiful gates, remember that you are leaving a state of mind where all thoughts or worry and other strong emotions will be washed away. Yeah, there's like a lot of elements. There's an element of like you're going to like be spiritually. All these story about like you're going to find the inner peace. You're going to find the perfect harmony. There's like a thing that's like really compelling with that. They actually give you like solution to like get rid of like bad feeling. There's a communal aspect, so there's like a lot of ways like that you're like more prone to like follow. You got a cool aesthetic. You know, it doesn't seem too much, but like the aesthetic is important, dude. That's how the Nazis like were able to get some stuff, you know.
Day of the year. The holiday,
which is a big stretch, but
the Last Testament's most important holiday.
Aesthetic are about it.
Basically, it's
the image. And it's more about the image. Like even if you think about like a lot of political system, like the image is super important to get people on board. You could say like Trump. I know it's like a stretch here. I'm just mapping a lot of ways. The image is really important, but like you think about political system, like Trump is really good with his image. Like the way he do his speech, the way like he show what America is, how he sees the enemy. It's really aesthetically pleasing, you know, if you get into that sort of frame. And it's the same thing about that. It's like, oh, harmony in the nature. We have like this way of dressing ourselves. There's like the rituals. There's like hippie, you know.
On this day in 1990,
it's appealing in a lot of ways.
Realized his divine connection to God and established his church. It's the reason that thousands of Vissarionites from around the world have gathered here today. We began our ritualistic procession up
Dude,
the
there's a
mountain,
lot of people.
a 5-hour journey replete with ceremonial washing. That felt good. Mood music.
It feels good. Music.
And supremely positive vibes. Looking back, I think it was supposed to serve as a sort of mental palate cleanser for what lay ahead. Up the mountain we go.
A mental palate cleanser. I like this. I like this
Part
word.
of the reason I wanted to come here. The world seems to be in a pretty bad way right now. This seems to be an idyllic community, so maybe Vissarion has some answers for us on how we could better live our lives. Or maybe he's just got it right and people should come here.
It seems innocent, but there's always like you don't that they want you to see that thing. They don't want you to see the other stuff that feels a bit more brainwashy.
Actually pretty good musicians. Oh wow, beautiful. Found a little friend in this hole here, watching us. He looks very surprised, like us, wide-eyed.
Dude, now I want to join. Like, look at that. I want to join and play the flute.
Something happened to me while I was walking up the mountain. Was I experiencing the initial stages of indoctrination? Everything looks so beautiful, and the people seem so happy. I began to wish that I could be more like them.
There we go.
Slava, another in a long line of guides/minders, didn't want me to miss the site where Vissarion literally left his mark on Mother Nature.
The teacher, when first time on this mountain, take your hands on this stone, and after we turn the stone, we see this letter, the first letter of his name, Jesus. In Russia, Ha, letter Ha. You may see it.
Yeah, we should see.
I get it. All they like they're so like they still believe in that sort of magic, you know, and just like they believe first thing first magic like that way, but also like a second like oh I didn't see it. I just have to take the words for it. I feel like it feels like sensibilities you don't have a lot nowadays believe like that easily. It feels like almost naive, you know what I'm saying? But like how can a community that big get that naive? Let's say, you know.
It's okay for me to touch?
And again, it's like
Russian Ha. Christos. In English, Jesus.
I mean that you don't really see a K. Oh no, there's a letter. Okay, it's like
it's there. While the rest of the followers gathered around the stage where Vissarion would soon give his sermon, Slava took.
Imagine if it's someone that's like having like a paranoia, you know, big paranoia psychosis, and he's just able to get people on board with his illusions. What if it's someone like that? Imagine the guy's like, you know, he's already charismatic, but he gets actual crazy, and he's able to get people on board with his craziness. He's fucking like, oh no, Jesus I did really talk to me. Even himself believes it.
Story for young boys. Trampoline. I'll jump.
Oppa! Oppa!
Why do you live here? Why did you come here?
Учитель для меня учитель открыл тот мир, который я всегда
I
чувствовал.
was a felt I was seeking to live in. He's gonna have some sort of disorder. I mean, either he's like a psychopath that's like, he's like mastermind, like I need to control, and because like I've got power, like you know, like someone that's like a bit too good to get power on board with him, but he probably like legitimizes himself. It's like no, I do help these people, of course. Or the other one is like actually crazy, but he's a good like spiritual talker. But again, like anything, the ego like got through him. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember what it was, but like there was people that use spirituality to feed their ego, and there's people that use spirituality to kill their ego. You know what I'm saying? Like some sort of thing like that. You become a vessel of power more than a vessel of actual spirituality. And you just like get people on board with the way you live your own spirituality, you know. Like I'm sure the guy that's like the cult leader is probably like he must be good with spirituality, but like he's a bit too good because now is like you want to manipulate people with it.
Фантазия — это реальность, его здесь можно сделать. Сбываются мечты.
It's a place where your dream come true.
На горе, чтобы рядом было.
I always dreamed to live on a hill close to a beautiful lake and pass my knowledge to the next generation.
We sat down with 17-year-old Ivan, who, among other things, was learning the masculine professions.
С электрическим инструментом.
Power tool.
Benzin.
With gas. Operating equipment. That's so guy, dude.
Living at the monastery.
Such a dude.
2 years. And how do you like it?
Очень.
What's your favorite thing to do during the day?
Быть полезным другим.
Are you planning on starting a family soon?
Ну да.
And
What?
Do you have in mind a...
Why is it so awkward?
Maybe a potential wife? No. Okay, that's it. We'll stop there. Спасибо.
Пожалуйста.
He's so calm. Like he looks like a what?
It's amazing. You can see they're clearing out this side over here, perhaps to build more housing, and their numbers are continually growing. I see why people stay, though. It's very beautiful. People who are interested in joining the community and living here, is there anything that one must do?
I mean, one of the things that maybe that cult specifically doesn't like seem as bad as other cults, they seem to be like willing to get people outside to come in. They don't seem to be too like radical about like outsiders. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of ways there's like a lot of cult that are like more into the outsider don't get it. You know, either you're in or you're out. Once you join, there's no coming back for real. Yeah, no, for real. I don't know. Once you're into the group, how does it feel? You know, how you get like more into it. But they have like a certain position about like people outside of their group. You know, there's no. It doesn't feel like too much. Like there was the Polish guy was talking about it, that they felt like kind of like disappointed when he said he wasn't a follower. But it doesn't feel like as bad. It just feel like a regular like religious fanatic or some shit that's like being like that. And again, I want to see exploring the guy.
To become part of the community, or can you just come and live here?
Здесь нужно просто желание приехать и.
Just need to have the desire to come here and find an opportunity for your contribution as far as your understanding, ability, and helpfulness. Maybe they just want to earn some money from it. I don't think they earn a lot of money. Like they seem to live like pretty simple lives. I don't think there's money to come from it. If people comes into that, they're really going there for like a certain like alternative. You know what I'm saying? They are there for meeting. You know, I'm pretty sure like that community has like a big like a materialist stance. Like they're probably against that sort of like having too much stuff. You know, but if it's Jesus, you can have multiple wives. That's different though. But I don't think money. There's a lot of money from that. The money probably go back into the community, you know? Into the community, into like, I don't know how they deal with the money, but...
I'm an editor and a writer, so I'd have to learn Russian, but perhaps I could help with that.
You will be welcome.
Но профессия писателя тоже.
The writer's profession is also fascinating because we strive to create new works where negative characters do not exist. What do you mean negative character? It's always like how they define their ontology. You know, how did they define the relationship between all the experience, the ontology? Like, what do you mean by negative characters? What do they mean by harmony? Like, they got like a big, like, strong stance upon gender that seems to be really like rigid, like traditional like way of seeing gender. So that's like part of like the ontology.
A place where negative characters.
Trampolines, big trampolines are kind of cool. If the cult have trampolines, you're getting me on board. The aesthetic is part of the ontology too. It's like it's a certain like cohesion upon like how the experience is related to each other.
Don't exist. That sounded pretty good to me. Clean energy, healthy living, virgin brides. I started wondering if the abode of Dawn could be the place for me.
Yeah, that's the thing with human nature. You cannot get heaven on earth. If you're going to define heaven that way, the way they define it, the human nature is not going to be there. It's too strict. The human nature is like too like, again, how you define perfect. They're starting to convince me. Yeah, virgin brides. I don't get sex. That seems pretty cool.
And then, finally, it was time for us to get our first glimpse of the teacher himself.
Oh! Finally! Finally!
Any moment now, Vissarion's going to descend from the stairs and address everyone here. And as you can see, everyone's eagerly anticipating it. I have no doubt in my mind that they believe he is God. And it's interesting and kind of scary to see so many people have so much faith in one man or God.
Like I said, he lives like far from the village. Like his image is so important. He makes sure that his appearance is all controlled. His image must be like the most controlled thing in his life. Okay, that's how he's able to become sacred for these people, because like his image is like so controlled. I don't know what would happen if them assassinated him. Yeah, what happened? He seems kind of fat. He needs to go to the gym, dude.
We had traveled thousands of miles to the middle of nowhere in Siberia to see this man, Vissarion, address his congregation on what they call the holiday of good fruits. It was sort of spooky.
It doesn't seem sacred to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like all these people like have a certain like image this guy is like able to harvest. It's
Vissarion's making his way down. Very slowly. Very Christ-like.
bro really desired to be the main character. Oh yeah, he is.
And just as Vissarion was about to share some infallible nuggets of wisdom, they made us turn off the camera.
Yeah, because his image. It's always about the image. You need a perfect little image for yourself. You control the image, you control how they see you.
After giving a short sermon in hushed tones, Vissarion blessed bread made by the community for the ensuing feast and bid his followers farewell.
And that's it. You're going to see him in 3 months now.
So we just have finished the sermon with the teacher, and Nina's gonna translate a little bit for us of what was said.
I remember exactly his first phrase. I'm glad that you still survive. Yes, it was everybody was laughing. Yeah, and then he spoke about.
Meanwhile, he fucks your wife in the back. Exactly, dude. That's how he do it. He's so sacred. You have no choice but to let your wife be fucked by him, dude. And you're going to pray at the same time. Ugh.
That we, all of us, are pupils. And in the school of life.
That's it.
Pupils in the school of life. I guess that's true, but I'm not sure it provided me with any answers. I'm gonna see if we can interview some pilgrims, some people that came to see Vissarion from afar. What is your feelings about Vissarion?
He's my friend, the real friend. He fulfills my life.
Why did you make the journey here today?
I simply felt that it was my place to be. You need to feel it to understand. It is impossible to express in words.
How did you first hear about the teacher?
I learned of it from the Sigan and Sport magazine. I felt a great strength from the article.
Compared to years past, does he seem happy? Does he seem in good spirits?
I think it's hard to apply our normal moods to him. And you see how they talk about him? You see how they talk about him? They really focus your attention into like a certain way. That's how like these people get into it, because like you're really going to have like a certain image about it in the same way. I don't know how to say it. It pulls your feelings too. Like, oh, the words are not enough. Trust your heart, dude. Don't question with your head. Nah. It's about the art, dude. I'm feeling that he has his own state of being. Even though he is next to you, you feel like he is far away.
After the liturgy, we ran into our Polish friend Maciek. How do you feel? I mean, do you feel that there's something about him that's beyond human?
I don't want to insult anybody, but I don't. No, I feel it's an interesting place and an interesting person, and I think these people around here want to live a good life, and I do appreciate them, but I don't perceive him as a divine.
XD the girl, dude.
He's
The girl. He's just said it. He said it the best way possible.
My big interview with Vissarion.
There's a lot of stars.
Oh, you got an interview with. We got an interview with him. Okay. Let's see if my theory holds on.
Nighttime sky, when he told me that stars weren't the only things up there.
Sometimes we see it.
You've seen UFOs?
I see one time
What did it look like?
a big object, triangle, and in a corner, 3 spheres.
3 spheres. Yeah. Okay.
Other people see
it,
too. Yeah.
Aliens?
The next morning,
Aliens are kind of cool, though. You know what I'm
a
saying?
secret path to Vissarion's home.
Like, I wouldn't mind more alien shenanigans into our culture, okay? The aliens are kind of nice. They're kind of nice beings, just to have, like, in our collective, like, imagination. You know, what happened to aliens? I feel like it was big, but, like, for the past, like, 10 years or maybe more, aliens are kind of, like, just bad. Like, don't we have evolved our way to see aliens now with AI and stuff like that, with social medias? I'm sorry, but I feel like we don't hear about aliens that much. You know, when I want to hear more about them. What was the thing again? There's just like one poster. I want to believe or something.
So we're finally here, at the teacher's house, and gonna
Oh, the
interview
dog!
a man that many people believe to be the Word of God. I suddenly became very anxious about my meeting with the teacher. What if I actually had an audience with someone who is the Word?
You see, even if the image got to him, because the groups, there's a thing, if a big group like that believes in something like ridiculous like that, you're going to have doubts. That's how they got you to it too. You know, why there's so many people around it? There must be a reason they believe the same way. You know? Even him, that's like, of course he doesn't believe it. There's like, he must be like a certain way.
And perhaps flesh.
But he's not
God.
divine, you know?
Rocco. Why did you agree to an interview with me? Because I know that you haven't for quite a bit.
Не знаю.
I'm not sure.
It's okay. Are you regretting it now? Okay. I wanted to know about Russia. Was it a coincidence, or was it just happenstance that...
He's an image. I'm sorry. He's an actor. He's like an actor. I'm sorry.
Around the same
He feels
time
like that.
as the fall of
That's my gut
the
feeling.
Soviet Union.
Нет, это
It was
не
not a
случайно.
coincidence.
В этот период должна
Freedom of
была
religion, the
появиться
animation was
свобода
supposed to happen around that
вероисповедания.
time.
Иначе было бы
Otherwise, it
сложно.
would have been hard to
Нужны были
establish the
серьезные
community.
изменения в
Magnificent
обществе,
change in society were essential to
которые
destroy.
выбьют привычную основу из-под
The
ног.
foundation of habitual
Нужно,
belief.
чтобы
Man has to
каждым
experience
временем
hunger for
человек
sacred truth,
испытал
then go look for it.
жажду в
I mean, you have the
поиске
right
духовной
context to
пищи.
make a cult.
I think I understood what he was saying, but I was struggling with how to tactfully ask someone who looks like Jesus if he's the Son of God without coming out and saying it. You're very Christ-like in your appearance. I'll say it this way. Do you have memories of Christ from 2,000 years ago? Do you carry on in that way, in that lineage?
Что есть
There are
память
conscious and unconscious
чувственная,
memories.
есть память сознания. Сохранять тело.
It says it's for everybody. That's the way it's going to be really hard, because like his whole image cannot be too put in intention. You always need to find like a way to get the image like cohesive. So that's interesting how he's going to like tackle these questions. You know what I'm saying? It's senseless to preserve a body with an ethical mind, and that's the thing with that sort of like metaphysical kind of approach to like knowledge. Let's say it's you can be vague, because like vagueness is going to be enough to make you, you know, it's going to be enough to preserve the cohesion over the story you're giving. It's senseless to preserve a body with an ethical mind.
Терным сознанием нет смысла.
Identity shapes accordingly for its own time.
Формируется
When it's needed to
благоприятным
appear
для
on Earth
сознания
in a
своего
physical
времени,
body,
когда рождается, когда нужно в каком-то теле появиться на Земле. А так как
since there is
появление
no
на
constant
Земле
need
не
for it,
требуется делать очень часто, а
the
будут
intervals
большие
between
интервалы.
reappearing will be long.
That's probably as close to a yes as I was going to get.
Yep.
It seems like the world is, there's lots of riots, there's uprisings. Is the turmoil and conflict in the world right now worse than you've experienced?
Yeah, vagueness is good for him because it's harder to question it. Yeah, you can keep it like vague and just don't define what you mean and you're going to be fine. There's a lot of ways, like, yeah. No, of course.
Сейчас можно будет
It's assured that
смело
80% of
сказать,
the
что
Earth's
80%
population
населения Земли
has serious mental
имеет
disabilities.
серьезное психическое отклонение. Но эти
But
люди
these
имеют
people have
много,
weapon in their hands.
а это растет
It's
дальше.
spreading further.
Поэтому там
That's
есть
why a
проблемы,
psychological explosion
там
will
нужно
happen in
быстрее
place
всё
with weaker
взрывать
inhibitant first.
психологически.
Like yours?
Was Vissarion talking about Armageddon? Naturally, I was curious as to when that might happen. Is that coming soon?
Смотря
It's just to be sure
по
the time.
каким меркам. Хотелось бы,
It's
чтобы
preferable that the chaos
быстрее
vigorously
закончилась та
demonstrated,
дикость, которая
but human civilization will
так
end
сильно.
soon. There's always this like post-apocalyptic like thing about like cults too. There's always like an urgency. I think that's how they also play it. They play on the urgence to get yourself into the body in question. Even like Catholicism, like there's like an element of like there's a prophecy that's going to happen. The end of the world is coming. Even like broader religion, there's like an element to it that's like more. There's a urgence to like you need to vote for us. You need to join us.
проявляется.
Talk about dancing around the subject. I switched gears and, remembering Slava's extraterrestrial encounter, asked him about the church's stance on what they call the outer space mind.
Внеземной мир не имеет
Outer space minds don't have a soul.
Поэтому научно
Technological progress for them is a
прогресс
natural form of
это
development.
естественная форма развития. Пик
The
развития
peak of human
человеческой
civilization, growth, and the
цивилизации
moment of fateful
и
choice
момент судьбоносного выбора перед человеком должен был
were
совпасть
supposed to
с
happen
моментом
simultaneously
изменения
with the transformation of our geophysical structure.
I have to admit, Vissarion lost me somewhere in between the end times and soulless aliens.
Okay, the thing with these guys, they're spiritual people. For them, aliens are beings that have like immense technological power, but they have like also this aspect of immense spiritual power. Okay, like I feel there's always like you know in metaphysics, there's always like a certain like. Yeah, it's same. Yeah, the Jehovah's. Yeah, true. I talked to a Jehovah guy once. He was thinking for them it's like materialistic, and they really approach it like it's science. That he was trying to sell me the Jehovah's Witness as science. I was like, yeah, that's interesting way to try to convert me. Okay, the thing with aliens with most of these goals, I feel like, is that for them, yeah, there's these aliens are like technological, so advanced, but they're spiritually advanced. They're at this point of spiritual advancement where they are so cohesive to themselves. They are one with the universe, you know? They're egoless, they're all alignment. That's why they connect alien with Jesus, because they cannot feel the same. They're like, oh, aliens have the same power as Jesus, because like alien civilization at this point. So that's where he's coming from. It's always these beliefs like they took alien. They make aliens perfect. Okay, that's what they're doing.
Still, I could see how his
The
father...
same way God is perfect, they make aliens the same way. It's just like aliens is a bit more realistic now to our standards. I feel like nowadays you'll have way more people that are going to believe in aliens than they're going to believe in God. You know what I'm saying? Depends on the place. But it's more, you know, because like aliens, technically you could like have a point of like, oh well, you don't see them yet. The same way you could have say about God. Aliens just modern way, you know, it's closer to us in some weird conceptual way.
Could really get into this stuff. It's a hell of a lot more interesting than Adam and Eve and the crucifixion. The teacher's handlers signal...
Just aliens is just like a concept that's like more closer to our sensibilities to map a certain like perfection to them and build stuff around.
But I was determined to slip...
It's a charming concept, you know?
Few simple questions that with any luck...
You see, he's a fucking actor. Like, I don't believe it. I don't... You see these eyes? I don't believe this guy. I don't.
Would be
I don't trust this guy. This guy is a Mindfucker, dude.
manner. How about
It controls its image too much. Don't trust someone that controls his image too much.
food? What's your favorite dish to eat? Or
Нет, сложно
It would be difficult for me to say something that you would understand.
что-то такое рассказать понятное.
You see, you would understand.
Немножко по-другому.
I interpret things differently.
Понимается всё.
a man without penchant, which apparently extended to answering questions in a fashion that I could understand.
It's
But
his
this was
image.
my
He
last
cannot.
shot. At the very least, maybe I could glean something about the purity of my own being. Just meeting me briefly, can you tell me anything about my soul?
Так нельзя говорить.
I can feel a person, but cannot define the
Нельзя
feature.
назвать. Я могу чувствовать
They're
человека.
undefined.
Но что в этом
It
случае
depends on
хочется
what you want to
услышать?
hear.
I said it. So, last question. If you could tell one piece of advice that our viewers here could follow relatively easily, what would it be?
Не стремиться быть первым
Do not try to be superior among the people around you.
среди тех, с кем живешь. Это стремление.
That intention leads to death. Intention leads to death?
Okay.
That's a big one.
I'm not sure.
Again, it's vague. Intention leads to death. What do you mean by intention? Do I think your goal is intention? Do you need to go? Maybe it's going like Taoist road there with intention. Because with the Taoist, they kind of, you need to be one with the flow and you go just through the flow. So, does having a goal is intention? Does Mindful?
Supposed to or not, but there was no way I was leaving without.
Dude, I can join them!
So I hopped right in there. So, we finished.
I
our
was there
journey
for the
here,
picture. With
going
Jesus
back
of...
to New York City and pollution and.
I mean, intention as is an idea that is itself leads to death. So this idea itself, wait, that's so true. When I read that, I got an intention to understand. Dude, you're so... Intention leads to death. Everything leads to death, dude. Death is inevitable. Breathing leads you to death. I'm just saying, dude. Breathing leads you to death. Be careful. Stop breathing. It's going to kill you. Like, it's going to come. Stop breathing.
In other words, all the
Brilliant.
things that I find weirdly
Brilliant.
comforting. What can I say? I'm a man of modern convenience. But if it ever gets too much for me, if the scum of humanity becomes so sticky and viscous that I can't scrub it off,
Dude, the scum is empowering these communities. This guy, I don't trust this guy.
I know
fucking
there's a place
Jesus,
where I
dude.
can drop out and be at peace. And the next time
I get a
someone
whole
complains
community
to me
that
everything
hates me
sucks,
now.
or our problems are unsolvable,
This whole community hates
I'll
me.
just tell them. There's this place you can go in Siberia where they'll accept you with open arms. A place where the children run free, where the earth provides everything you need, and where money is.
They were really kind. Into that journalist approach, they were really kind in the way they decided to tackle like a place like that. You know, maybe it was a bit more softer cult. It seems like a soft cult, you know. It's not like an hard cult where you need to kill yourself. At least they didn't show that. Is this Russian cult leader a fraud?
This is the story of a mysterious Russian cult led by a man who says he's Jesus Christ.
He's the Son of God, the living Word of God.
They lived in a peaceful isolation in Siberia until security forces stormed their community and arrested its leader, Vissarion.
He got arrested! Dude, we have like, oh my god, we're going 5 years ago. The other one was like 15 years ago. Any cult leaders are fraud. They prey on the desperate, those that have lost hope, and that's really pathetic. Yep. We in India have millions of people like him. Dude, that's Africa. I heard like I heard in India there's a lot of like small communities. That's funny. We in India have millions of people like him. That's the best comments I could ever add. In the Philippines too. You know, we don't relate to religion the same way. We in India have millions of people like him. I'll go there and show them the VOD. You better be. No! He got arrested, dude. The community is dead. So I'm good now. I'm good.
Former members reveal the sect was hiding dark secrets.
There were these ridiculous situations where adults and children died because they didn't receive medical assistance.
And say its guru isn't who he says he is.
Of course he was lying. I believe he was taking advantage. Yeah, he was. I trusted, dude. You gotta, yeah. How dare you arrest Jesus himself? The whole state is going to be in sin now. Doing war on countries, they're going to be fine. Arresting Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the whole state is going to perish.
So who is the real Vissarion?
Vissarion.
This is the City of the Sun, home to Vissarion and his Church of the Last Testament.
Kill Vissarion! Shoot Vissarion! Shoot the American ship! You got this, dude. That's a Vissarion American ship. Okay? That's what happened after he got arrested, okay? That's the war that they're beginning to have. The Cold versus Russia. Are they going to miss? Another victory for the Colts. Big victory for the Vissarion Colts.
Around 4,000 of his followers live here and in the surrounding villages. Ilyana was just 17 when she met Vissarion in 1995.
Now they're going to start a riot, yeah. Depends, like, when I saw him with those blue eyes, my tears started to flow. He was hugging me and he was smiling. I remember that he was smiling, stroking me and smiling. And I just wept.
Before he was Vissarion, he was Sergei Torop, a former traffic cop. A few years ago,
what was he doing before?
BBC documentary crew tried to shed some light on the man many call him teacher.
Yeah, I want to know his past.
Are you the Son of God? Are you a reincarnation of Jesus?
This is not an interesting question. No, he's not going to respond because, like, responding to that destroys image. Like, I feel like if he was really truly the Son of God, he could, like, answer this question. He could have, like, his narrative, but no, the only narrative is that I'm not going to answer. I don't know, man. I just don't get it. How can people be there? It's about the image. You're in a place. Again, think people in bad situation are going to really have weird way to cope with bad situations. Okay, it's more about that. If you're really desperate, you know, this guy's a fucking predator. He's a fucking predator. I see it in his eye. This guy's a pedophile, dude. Think about it. You're in bad place. You're going to have ways you can cope with life, and when you're really bad position, having like something to believe in becomes like a way to get out. You know, even if it's like that naive, it gives like a certain like magic to the like. No. Your pain is from a spiritual war or something. You know what I'm saying? We go back, think about like when we were watching people in the Middle East. How do someone get like that radicalized? Hell brings way to cope with life that is sometimes can feel really weird. You know, that's how you cope with like when things don't make sense. You know, when your life don't make sense, when like things keep like adding up and it doesn't make sense. You know, imagine like it doesn't make sense that let's call it like your dad has died, your mom gets cancer, and then you have addiction. It doesn't make sense. You know, yeah, that's sad. And that's where like when life doesn't make sense because life is life, you have like someone like that. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense because life is already like it doesn't make sense already. But I guess it's it's comforting. And I think like it doesn't make sense because we have the privilege to see life through like our lens and how it makes sense that things happen that way. But if your life becomes shitted off, it's going to lose its sense, you know? So I think that's where like people like that can become like, you know, really more powerful. But this guy's a predator. I hate this guy. Look at his eyes.
На него лучше не отвечать.
It's better not to answer it.
Дерево находят по
The
плодам.
trees is found by its
А не по
fruit,
названию.
not by its name.
И я жила вообще в других...
Yeah, look at the fruits that I'm giving you. Don't look at the tree. Doesn't matter. The fruit is important. Don't look at the tree. The tree is all rotten. Take the fruit. That's crazy, Jesus saying that, huh? You know who else was a fruit? Satan. Adam and Eve. That's a... You don't...
Ну,
I was
скажем,
in a different energy stage.
состояниях энергии,
I never
чтобы я
tried.
не плакала, то есть
I
я
did martial
занималась,
arts.
ну, боевыми искусствами, и у меня
Crying
не
wasn't
было
something I did.
плакать или там что-то.
He said yesterday was sent by God. Now we will check whether he was sent by God or not. Since you're claiming to be the manifestation of Christ, yeah, how does he do that? Can you read the question that is in my left pocket? He's going to say like something like, that's not the power I got given. What has been given, but I won't prove it to everyone who I want proof. That's it.
Vissarion's church is based on 18 volumes of the last
18?
Testament that he wrote. Principles influenced by Orthodox Christianity, with some Buddhist and environmental ideas thrown in.
Yeah, yeah.
Ilyana was one of the first to try.
And there's like a new age thing in there. That's why there's Buddhism. Like, he say like Buddhist element, but he really mean new age elements. Because like that's the vibe in the 80s. He seems to be from that period of time. That's why there's weird aliens thrown into the mix. Because new age people love Buddhism, Hinduism, and aliens. And he just mixed it with like more political affairs. So I guess environmentalism. Which is like, in some sense, especially in the 80s, it was probably a bit more radical. And, just Orthodox Christianity. So there's like a mainstream appeal too.
To Siberia in 1990s to build a new community based on Vissarion's teachings.
Поднялись мы большой
We
бригадой.
numbered in a big
Это
team.
было 8 молодых парней.
Was 8 young
все были
guys.
молодые парни. И я готовила.
And I cooked
Мы
food.
были с мужем.
My husband and I were
И
there.
жили все в одной палатке 8 мест. Вот,
We all live in a
большая
tent for
такая,
8
как
people.
называется, военная палатка.
A large military tent made out of canvas.
Поставили печку.
They put a stove
пошли
and we
к
spent the
зимнему
winter
в
in
этой
this tent.
палатке.
In this tent.
Last September, the peace of the community Ilyana had helped set up was shattered by armed FSB agents.
Before COVID, they were like, Russia was tired. Russia was like, dude, I don't care about this cold. I'm trying to get rid of Ukraine right now. They just sent a Russian.
The FSB arrested Vladimir Vedernikov, the head of the Church of the Last Testament, and Vadim Redkin, the former pop star and Vissarion's right-hand man.
Yeah, Russia was going everywhere. Like, it had to happen at some point. Yeah. And especially now with Russia that's become a bit more authoritarian. They just like, I don't care. Spiritual or not, get out.
Together, these three men stand accused of extorting money and causing physical or psychological harm to their followers.
Hey guys, it's me, Chuckles again. I know that the last time we spoke, you weren't too happy with me. You're always like, hey, why did that guy keep clicking?
That's me. That's my stream, dude. That's how I talk.
The followers who I spoke to in the City of the Sun, people like Ilyana, were certain that they
had
were
to-
living in
I read that.
utopia. But I wanted to find out more about the allegations against Vissarion.
It was difficult to leave because my parents didn't want me to go. The police were involved. I wrote a statement that they said they would not give me my documents. That was being held here.
Anastasia came to the community with her mother at the age of 12.
Well,
She ran away from home 3 years later.
no. My mother at this time was 30-year-old. She probably wanted this fantasy. Because being divorced and living in Minsk with 2 children is
In the
quite
early
difficult.
years, the community dictated that followers could only eat what they had grown. The restrictions have since been eased.
I just ran away because I couldn't live without meat, eggs, sugar, or flour. All of us newcomers, all of us little kids, we didn't believe in all that. We just thought our parents had lost their mind.
Critics have accused you of brainwashing and embezzling your followers? What do you say to the critics?
That's Belarusi? Yeah, that's Belarusi. Belarus, yeah. God, she came all the way from Minsk? Yeah. He must be like a neat spiritual leader. He used to be, I guess.
Но как еще здесь отнестись? Это неизбежно.
It's a necessary foundation,
Который необходимым образом
which will change all
впоследствии
humanity.
поменяет и характер жизнедеятельности человечества.
Been back, your old back.
One of the most serious allegations against Vissarion is that he outlawed medical intervention if someone was unwell or injured.
Were there violations? There were.
Елена Мельникова is one of at least 8 people who have testified against Vissarion and his 2 lieutenants.
There were these ridiculous situations. Adults and children died because they didn't receive medical assistance. I don't know where to put this.
For 12 years, she lived with her husband and their children in the community.
When I look at what he wrote about the situation, there is an anti-medical commandment. Why? Know thyself from now on, the flesh must... It must... Why do they not believe in medical care? They're like, I don't believe, like, what is this thing? What's the reason? Is that, like, because, like, you don't want to get to the hospital? Like, I don't understand. Like, why play upon, like, these little things like medical care? There's no reason for your religion to go there. Like, what? Who cares? I don't see how it gets you more pure or some shit. Because APs never believe in it. Yeah, I guess that's true. It's like, oh, the medication is going to make you more weak or some shit. In most cases, illness is a punishment for the inability. Oh, there's also... Oh, she said it right. It's also that thing. If hospitals are not a thing to be had, because anyways, if you're sick, it's a divine punishment. Oh, there's this thing too. Oh, I see. That's fucked up. You keep one's flesh in harmony with nature.
Елена says she has a list of all children she believes died because of this commandment.
I know for sure we had a case in Kashulka of... Oh yeah, of course it was God's will. Yeah, that's how they control it. That's how they cannot have medical care because like they can use these things to make more their religion like loud. You know what I'm saying? You see how she died, that's because of this guy. Which is fucked up. Boy born into a family with his mother had rubella during pregnancy. He developed him normally for a year, but then he stopped developing. His mother did not treat him and he died. Accept hope, all who enter. These are excerpts from the Last Testament.
Alexander Staroverov lives in the City of the Sun and acts as a press secretary.
You have to understand that although we are accused of prohibiting people from doing something, or forcing them into doing something, this does not exist in any areas of our teaching at all. There are no prohibition, there are recommendation. Okay, well that's a thing. That's a thing, but like I feel you could like at least have the resources. If someone wants to get the hospital, then, you know, there's like basic things you can still offer. It's not because you're anarchist that like you can offer minimal like help if someone's fucking sick, even if it's your choose at the end. You know what I'm saying? You're still encouraging like weird stuff. Please tell me how to be treated. Be treated? How should you be treated? Oh my god, there's so many people. Only spiritually. Healing of the flesh will only come from spiritual changes. We gave them 300 rubles, a quarter of the value. Even though I wasn't religious, I was against it. My husband was in over his head, he was brainwashed. And while we had money, they were still constantly begging us to give them more for the community house. One day I went to the community house and needed something. It was autumn, they were finishing dinner. I saw how much food they were throwing away. I said to one woman, we still have some money left over from the apartment. Thank God my husband did not donate everything. We cook as much as we can eat. What are you doing? They were not even like respecting the... And she turned to me and said, some fool has been feeding us. Another will come along to feed us. Yeah, it's like that one saying of like, oh, just God is going to save me. No, God is going to save me. I'm not going to act upon my own faith. God is going to feed me. I know the whole building is on fire, but I'm not going to walk through the door because God is going to help me. And I told my husband not to pay anymore, you're just corrupting these people. Naturally, there were cases when people donated all their money. Usually in the early years. At the time, we didn't see anything wrong with that. If a person gives voluntarily, this happens everywhere. For example, in the same way, a person can come and give all his money to build an Orthodox church. Yeah, it's on paper it seems like a good thing, but in practice it kind of feels like they're pushing it a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's like hospitals and donation. On paper it seems like fine, like everyone has their right to choose, but in practice you don't really have the possibility to choose. You know what I'm saying? Either the peer pressure of like the old group is going to like get down on you, or you're just not going to have access to like it, you know?
Students with ADHD save 10 hours studying with the...
You're going to get 10 hours if you... They try to frighten us with Nibiru, this planet which is about to crash on Earth, and everything will collapse. I don't remember what year it would have been. We all sat waiting for day X, the apocalypse. We stocked up in food and learned to live like the world was about to end. But it didn't happen. And everyone said, you see, we all worked hard, so it didn't happen. Yeah, that's another way they can like dominate you. They use these elements. Siberian said, I wanted to see if you would believe this or not. They're testing it too. They're testing their faith. You know? There's only... Oh my god, that's so disgusting, dude. That's so disgusting. Dude, seriously, every cult has some sort of idea that they wait for it. Yeah, because that's how they fear you. That's how they test you. That's how they get power into you. You know what I'm saying? That's how they can exert control. Because if the end of the world is coming, you better believe. You know what I'm saying? They play upon your fear. And again, look at that too. I wanted to see if I will believe this or not. It's like either you're in or you're out. There's no like way you can like tackle the spirituality, your own self, and like question it at the same time. There's no way. Donations. Yeah, you choose it, but at the same time, you kind of have forced to like giving it to. Otherwise, you're getting kicked out. Same for the hospital. No, it's disgusting. It was a cult. Look at this lady. She's like traumatized. She's like dissociating. And it was just a sick joke for me. It was a final straw.
Despite being one of the original settlers of the City of the Sun, Ileana was asked to move from her home on the mountain. Conflict is forbidden here. So she had to accept
conflict is forbidden. You see, that's a okay. If conflict is forbidden, that's the worst thing that could happen. Like, what do you do? Like, all this bad energy is going to go somewhere, dude. The teacher simply said at the point in time it was conflict. Conflict is a beautiful thing because that's the point where both parties can just give the bad energy someplace. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's like made wrong, maybe like people are not really entering dispute the right way, but here it's not even existent. There's like no place to get your bad energy, you know? It's another like dynamics. Yeah, release it. Yeah, they don't have a place either. Like how you have so many disputes, or you're just going to put it back into yourself. You know, all this anger you have towards like the community, not being able to question it, your incomprehension, you cannot do nothing. The only way you can like have all that frustration is, I guess, like you threw it back into you. Like pray more, get more into the community. That's how you get through your own disputes. But that's not a way to tackle it, you know?
Просто, говорит, это самое благоприятное.
The teacher simply said at the dynamics it creates is unhealthy, you know? With people who comes here do not understand that the offices are not really theirs. The employer owned the accommodation. Imagine being in the army, yeah. The man who joins the army understand that he is sent to one place and then it moves to another. That's normal, right? At first I was in the floods of tears when... And also, it's kind of crazy, inside of the community, it's not everyone that's going to have like the same position of domination. Like this guy, the way he talks about the community, this guy has like a privileged position into the community. That's why he can have the privilege to say that, oh no, it's a choice if you're going to take health or not, or it's a choice if you're going to give or not. You know, while this lady or the other lady seems to be in a position into the community that's like really more into like where the bad things is happening, where the community is kind of falling apart.
Но потом вот это
Later it
самое
was for the
приятное,
best.
то есть это для меня действительно
Yeah, the hierarchy is explicit.
важно, как для человека.
And implicit too. I think like everyone's like, oh no, my position is fine, and they think everyone is living the same way. Even in a small community, the guy seems to have no problem because he probably lives into like a context in the community that there's no problem for him. But like he's not going to say that the problem that the other girl is going to be like a real thing. Especially if like in the community there's like this thing about like disputes. Like that disputes is a bad thing. So they're never going to be like saying anything. Oh my god, the cat! That's the only thing that's cool. That's the only... And my husband took up barrel making. Holy shit. Russian techno on bikes. Do you remember what was said about the second coming of Christ? How lightning will circle the world and will descend on a cloud. There are these interesting theories online together, it all makes sense. You see, that's someone that's like privileged into the community. That's someone that can like have the comfort to believe these things without like having himself live the atrocity, not the atrocity, but the suffering it can like indulge into other people. I'm convinced that they are just a bunch of scammers. From the first day, it felt like Siberian was acting her part. Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. This guy doesn't fell off. Moreover, a poorly learned part. He's the Son of God, the living Word of God.
Потому что то, что он говорит, ну для меня...
Because everything he says makes sense to me.
Конечно,
of course he was lying.
Конечно, обманывал.
What else? He was
Считаю,
lying.
что он воспользовался
I
просто
believe that he just took advantage of people.
людьми, сказать, что заявить,
Say I'm the
что
Messiah and the
Россия
world will
заявит, что
end.
будет конец света. Ну, это
I think that's a lie.
обман, я считаю.
Vissarion means different things to different people. In the end, his fate will be decided in court in April.
That's such a funny way to end this. At the end, his fate is going to be decided into a courtroom. This is a great way to finish this, actually. That was good. Okay, HD. I think that's going to be the end for me too. It's been like an hour 30 minutes. That's enough. Dude, that was interesting. Did you enjoy it? I enjoyed watching this. This is fucking... That was interesting. Yeah, I've been enjoying these kind of streams. You know, just like exploring a bunch of stuff. Dude, take care now. I'll see. Yeah, fair. I gotta take a shit. Yeah, hell yeah. Go take a shit. Go pray for Siberian, the god. Our savior, Messiah. And that's it. I'm gonna go. Goodbye.